Perhaps this is the second part of the lesson, and we're looking at reactions between acid and metal carbonate. In our example that I showed you, we had hydrochloric acid reacting with sodium carbonate. And what I told you, what we got is, first of all, we get the water, as we got in the first neutralization reaction from last lesson. We also get, we got salt, okay? Right? Can we think about the salt that we had here? Well, the salt will be made out of the metal, which is here, okay, sodium. And the non-metal that comes from the acid, as always, which will be chloride. Chlorine together will be sodium chloride. And the extra bonus that we got was carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Okay, that was the beautiful bubbles, the gas that eventually extinguished the flame. Okay, we will make notes on gas identification next week, so let's not bother about that. Okay, now how did we get that? Will become more clear when we work with the symbols. Okay, so let's do some colors now. So I've got HCl, okay, hydrochloric acid. I always start with that because it's really easy. Okay, so HCl plus, let's give it a blue, sodium carbonate. So sodium, Na, okay, carbonate, let's give them a green color. Okay, plus sodium carbonate, CO3. Now, CO3, okay, this is where the ions kick in. CO3, you got to remember it's charged minus. Therefore, and Na is only charged 1 plus, so we need an Na2CO3. Okay? Now, what are we getting? Now, check it out. The H comes together. We will need 2, but we're not balancing now. H will come with the O from the oxygen, from the carbonate, O from the carbonate, and they will form H2O. Okay, I know right now it's not balanced. I have 1 H here and 2 there, but we're not balanced. Okay, but I just want to make sure you get it. Okay, that we get oxygen and hydrogen together forming the H2O. Now, let's do the third one. Okay, so if I took 1 oxygen out of the carbonate, okay, it was CO3. I took 1 oxygen to get together the H. What am I left with? CO2. So that's where the carbon dioxide comes. Okay. That's where the carbon dioxide comes from, CO2. Okay? Now, what are we left with? Well, we're left with the blue and the red. Okay? This is what will form the salt. So we've got sodium and Na get together with chlorine. They're both plus 1 minus 1, NaCl. Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, pause you and I'll put a couple more examples. Okay, chaps, right, so 2 examples, and I want to start from the bottom one, okay? Sulfuric acid, remember what's the equation for sulfuric acid, okay? What's the formula? H2SO4, okay? We reacted with magnesium carbonate, okay? That's going to be MgCO3. Carbonate, CO3 is minus 2, Mg is plus 2, so it's simply MgCO3. Now, when they react together, okay, what do we always get? We always get H2O. Okay? We always get carbon dioxide. I've changed the order. It doesn't really matter, but in these metal carbonate reaction, we always get H2O and CO2. Okay? So the easy marks. And then the last one is your salt. Okay? So what is the salt here? Okay? Well, the metal is Mg. The non-metal, okay, the non-metal comes from the acid as always, SO4. MgSO4, is this the right formula? It is, because again, Mg is 2 plus, SO4 is minus 2. Okay? Not difficult. Let's try it in words. Okay, so we've got water, carbon dioxide, and our salt, which is this case magnesium sulfate. Okay? Very important, you don't write in the test sulfide. Sulfide, it just means it just has an S, just the sulfur. Okay? 8 means it has that SO4. Okay, let's do our last example. Okay? So now we've got, let's use blue. Phosphoric acid, we learned about it, I think, in the last lesson. H3PO4. Okay? Calcium carbonate, CaCO3. You're noticing it's always carbonate. Okay? Calcium is second column, so +2. Carbonate is -2. Again, an easy marriage there. Okay? Now, what are we getting? As always, H2O and CO2. Without even thinking. As soon as I see carbonate here, H2O and CO2, and you can really see it. You can really see it. One oxygen from the carbonate gets together with the hydrogen, form water. We're left with CO2. Right? And the last bit is our the salt. Okay? So we start with the metal. Okay? Ca. It's shush, doggies. Thank you. Sorry about that. And then that comes together with a non-metal, PO4. But now here we need to think a little bit. Let's write it down. Where am I going to stand? I'll stand here. Calcium is 2+, right? It's in your second group. PO4, you need to remember, I'm afraid, is 3-. So we're doing the cross method. We're pulling the 3 from the PO4. We're putting it next to the Ca. We need 3 atoms of calcium. And then we're pulling the 2 from the calcium. We put it on the PO4, remembering to put brackets. Okay, guys? In words, to finalize, we've got water, plus carbon dioxide. Let's get rid of those. And what is that? Calcium phosphate. Okay? To finish up the lesson, okay, let me just put it on the board, it will save us some time. Okay? So I'll just go through. This is like your general formula for this type of reaction. Acid, okay, we used acid, plus metal carbonate, different kind of metal carbonate. They're all bases. Okay, metal carbonate is always a base. If it wasn't clear from what I said, it's always a base. Okay? Gives you water, carbon dioxide, and a salt. Okay? That's it, guys. A lot of information, I know. Next week, we're just practicing it. We're not going to do any experiments. We're going to just do a lot of these exercises. Just make sure you really get it, okay? I think last thing for me at home, okay, as an option, okay, I will give you some exercise to do under the video. But if you want to experiment this reaction, you can do that. It's very easy, okay? We've got these material. So your acid can be vinegar, okay? Pick up some vinegar or lemon juice. And a metal carbonate that we all have at home, well not all, but most of us, is bicarb soda, okay? Bicarb soda is a form of bicarbonate soda. In fact, bicarbonate, okay, is sodium carbonate. Okay, so it's one, I think the first one we've done. So mix your vinegar and your bicarb. Some of you already know you get a nice little fizz, okay? Those of Irish descent maybe know, what do you call that bread? Soda bread, okay? So what is bread? You take dough and you want to have some kind of reaction taking place where you get some carbon dioxide, so it becomes a bit more fluffy and not dense, okay? So you want some air in your bread. Normally, most of the time, we will use living beings, yeast. These are bacteria that digest the sugar and release carbon dioxide, fart carbon dioxide inside our bread. But the Irish, what they use, okay, it's just the Irish recipe, we use it everywhere. Instead of yeast, you will use bicarb soda, okay? You put bicarb soda, and I guess there's some kind of acid maybe in the flour. It will be slightly acidic, and the reaction between the acid and the bicarb, the carbonate, will release carbon dioxide. And that makes the dough rise very quick. It's a chemical reaction rather than biology going on there. Okay, that's it for me. Have a lovely, lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week. Take care.